In today's complex business landscape, ethics serves as the cornerstone of sustainable success. This module explores the fundamental principles of business ethics, their historical development, and practical applications in modern organizations. We'll examine how ethical practices impact relationships with stakeholders, contribute to long-term profitability, and help navigate challenging dilemmas in an increasingly globalized world. Business ethics as a formal discipline emerged relatively recently, but ethical considerations in commerce date back thousands of years. Ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Rome all established basic commercial codes that addressed fair weights and measures, accurate enforcement, and honest dealing. The Middle Ages saw the rise of guild systems with their own ethical codes, while the Industrial Revolution brought new ethical challenges related to labor practices, working conditions, and environmental impact. By the 20th century, increasing corporate power necessitated more formalized approaches to business ethics. Key milestones include the 1960s rise of consumer activism, the 1970s establishment of business ethics as an academic discipline, and the corporate scandals of the early 2000s. Overall, this history of business ethics encompasses a broad range of concerns from sustainability to data privacy. The key principles of business ethics include honesty, fairness, integrity, compassion, and leadership. Honesty forms the foundation of all ethical business practice, ensuring transparency and trust. Fairness ensures equitable treatment across all stakeholders, while integrity represents the alignment between stated values and actual behavior. Compassion in business considers the human impact of decisions, and leadership sets the ethical tone from the top, ensuring ethical standards are maintained throughout the organization. Ethical principles for business executives include core ethical foundations, operational ethics, and broader impact considerations. Executives are expected to demonstrate honesty and fairness in all dealings, take responsibility for decisions and consequences, and consider the broader impact of their actions on stakeholders and the environment. These principles provide a comprehensive ethical framework for executive decision-making, ensuring that organizations maintain trust and integrity while achieving their business goals. Leadership sets the ethical tone for the entire organization. When leaders consistently demonstrate ethical behavior, the entire organization is more likely to follow suit. Research shows that ethical leadership can significantly improve employee satisfaction and organizational effectiveness. Ethical leaders create environments where employees feel secure and empowered to act ethically, fostering a culture of trust and accountability. Integrity represents the alignment between stated values and actual behavior, the foundation upon which all meaningful business relationships are built. Organizations with high integrity enjoy significant competitive advantages, such as enhanced reputation, reduced transaction costs, and improved recruiting effectiveness. Integrity ensures that businesses operate consistently with their values, even when faced with challenging circumstances. Fairness in business operations ensures equitable treatment of all stakeholders, promoting trust and integrity in all business activities. Procedural fairness involves transparent decision-making processes, while distributive fairness ensures equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. Interactional fairness focuses on respectful communication, and informational fairness ensures stakeholders are well informed. Together, these aspects of fairness contribute to a positive organizational culture. Compassion in business represents the genuine concern for the well-being of all stakeholders. It involves understanding others' experiences and responding with empathy. Research shows that compassionate leadership can significantly reduce employee turnover and improve resilience. Empathy in the workplace fosters a supportive environment where employees feel valued and understood, leading to higher engagement and productivity. Ethical business conduct fundamentally respects and recognizes the importance of stakeholder relationships for organizational success. This includes employees, customers, investors, and the broader community. Ethical relationships are built on trust, transparency, and mutual respect, ensuring that all parties are considered in decision-making processes. This approach helps organizations build strong, lasting relationships that support long-term success. Corporate governance represents the system of rules, practices, and processes by which a company is directed and controlled. Effective governance ensures the delicate balance between meeting ethical standards and operational needs, maintained through the organization. Key components include the board of directors, audit committees, and ethics committees, all working together to uphold ethical standards and ensure accountability. Corporate social responsibility, CSR, represents the integration of social, environmental, and ethical concerns into business operations and stakeholder interactions. As businesses focus on reducing harm and creating shared value, CSR extends further to actively provide positive impact through social initiatives. The evolution of CSR has progressed through stages like compliance-driven, strategic philanthropy, and inclusive employment, ultimately fostering environmental stewardship and community engagement. Organizational ethics significantly influence employee commitment, engagement, and overall workplace satisfaction. Research shows that ethical workplaces cultivate strong psychological contracts between employees and employers, leading to higher engagement, retention, and advocacy rates. Employees are more likely to stay with organizations that align with their values and demonstrate ethical behavior consistently. Ethical business practices significantly influence investor confidence, loyalty, and long-term capital relationships. The growing prominence of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria in investment decisions reflects the increasing recognition that ethical conduct correlates with financial sustainability. Investors are more likely to support companies that demonstrate strong ethical standards, leading to greater investor loyalty and trust. Ethical business practices influence customer perceptions, loyalty, and lifetime value. As consumers increasingly factor ethical considerations into purchasing decisions, organizations that demonstrate strong ethical values gain competitive advantages in customer acquisition and retention. Honest marketing, product integrity, data respect, and fair treatment are key components that contribute to customer satisfaction and loyalty. Ethical business practices enhance financial performance through reduced risk and increased efficiency. The relationship between ethics and profits is clear. Organizations that prioritize ethical practices see benefits like fraud reduction, litigation savings, and efficiency gains. By fostering a culture of ethics, businesses not only improve their bottom line, but also contribute positively to society. Ethical dilemmas arise when values conflict, requiring careful analysis to resolve. Utilitarian analysis focuses on outcomes, while rights-based analysis emphasizes individual entitlements. Justice analysis seeks fairness, and virtue ethics considers character. Each approach offers unique insights for ethical decision-making. Businesses face ethical challenges like bribery, data privacy, environmental impact, and workplace equity. Addressing these requires proactive strategies to ensure compliance and foster a culture of integrity. Understanding these challenges helps organizations develop effective strategies rather than reactive responses. Addressing ethical challenges requires comprehensive strategies, including compliance programs, stakeholder engagement, and ethics training. Leadership development is crucial for fostering an ethical culture. These strategies ensure employees are focused on their responsibilities and ethical decision-making. Compliance is foundational to ethical business conduct, ensuring adherence to laws and regulations. It involves ethical leadership, culture, and adherence to standards. Effective compliance programs mitigate risks and enhance organizational integrity, supporting sustainable business growth. Technological advancements present ethical challenges, such as algorithmic decision-making and privacy concerns. Balancing innovation with ethical considerations is crucial. Organizations must adopt innovative approaches to integrate ethics into technology use, ensuring responsible and fair practices. Globalization introduces complex ethical challenges, such as cultural relativism and supply chain ethics. Organizations must navigate these to maintain ethical standards across borders. Regulatory arbitrage and global consensus issues require strategic approaches to ensure ethical practices in a globalized world. Measuring ethical performance involves outcome, process, and perception metrics. These metrics help organizations assess their ethical conduct and make informed decisions. By evaluating these metrics, businesses can ensure they are meeting ethical standards and improving their practices. Best practices in business ethics include ethics integration, transparent communication, and ethical leadership. These practices foster a culture of integrity and accountability. Case studies like Unilever's Sustainable Living Plan demonstrate the positive impact of ethical business practices on sustainability and growth. Small businesses face unique ethical challenges, such as resource limitations and cultural considerations. Addressing these requires tailored strategies, including ethical training and peer learning. By understanding these challenges, small businesses can develop effective approaches to maintain ethical standards. The future of business ethics is shaped by technological innovation, climate change, and stakeholder capitalism. Embracing ethics of care and technological ethics will be crucial. Organizations must adapt to these changes to ensure ethical practices remain relevant and effective in a rapidly evolving landscape. Environmental ethics are crucial for sustainable business practices. Product development, operations, and supply chain management must incorporate environmental considerations. By doing so, businesses can enhance their sustainability efforts and contribute positively to the environment. Transparency and accountability are essential for ethical business practices. They involve clear reporting channels and investigation processes. By fostering an environment of openness, organizations can build trust and ensure ethical standards are upheld, benefiting both the organization and its stakeholders. Companies like Patagonia and REI demonstrate strong ethical practices, focusing on sustainability and community engagement. These examples highlight the benefits of ethical business conduct, including customer loyalty and brand reputation. By following these models, other organizations can enhance their ethical standards. Ethical business practices offer significant financial returns, including customer premiums, talent advantage, and innovation impact. These benefits demonstrate the value of investing in ethics, as they contribute to long-term success and competitive advantage. Organizations that prioritize ethics see tangible and intangible returns. Business ethics are foundational for sustainable success, requiring a commitment to integrity, transparency, and accountability. By integrating ethical practices, organizations can navigate challenges and seize opportunities. Ultimately, ethical business conduct fosters trust, enhances reputation, and drives long-term growth. Welcome to our exploration of ethical decision-making frameworks, where we delve into the essential structures that guide leaders and professionals through complex moral dilemmas. We'll examine how to make principled decisions that align with organizational values while navigating challenging situations. Ethical decision-making is crucial for aligning with values and building trust. It ensures that choices remain consistent with moral, organizational, and societal values, laying a foundation for principled leadership. When stakeholders recognize your commitment to ethical practice, it strengthens your professional reputation and fosters long-term trust. Navigating ethical decision-making involves addressing key challenges such as conflicting interests, competing rights, outcome uncertainty, and intangible impacts. These challenges require careful consideration to ensure decisions are fair and balanced, respecting all parties involved. The utilitarian framework, developed by philosophers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, focuses on maximizing the greatest good for the greatest number. It evaluates actions based on their outcomes rather than intentions, though it faces limitations in measuring long-term consequences. The rights-based framework emphasizes respecting fundamental rights such as dignity, autonomy, privacy, and freedom. It is particularly relevant in issues involving fairness and equality, ensuring that individuals are never treated merely as a means to an end. The justice-fairness framework, influenced by philosopher John Rawls, focuses on fairness and equality. It emphasizes distributing benefits and burdens fairly among all stakeholders, ensuring that decisions are just and equitable. Virtue ethics, dating back to Aristotle, emphasizes the development of good character traits rather than following specific rules. It focuses on being a virtuous person and varies across cultures, making it adaptable to different contexts. The care ethics framework, emerging in the 1980s, focuses on empathy, relationships, and the well-being of others. It considers the emotional and relational dimensions of decisions, asking how actions affect those involved. The common good approach emphasizes outcomes that benefit the community as a whole. It requires balancing individual liberties with collective benefit, particularly in areas like public health and environmental policy. Duty-based ethics, or deontology, focuses on adherence to moral duties and obligations regardless of consequences. It emphasizes that actions should be guided by universal moral laws, ensuring consistency and integrity. Ethical egoism suggests that moral agents should act in their own self-interest, but within ethical boundaries. It contrasts with altruism, which prioritizes others' needs, highlighting the balance between self-interest and social good. Social contract theory, developed by philosophers like Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, proposes that morality is grounded in mutual agreements among members of society. It emphasizes the importance of social contracts in establishing moral expectations. Stakeholder theory emphasizes that businesses should create value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders. It requires a balanced consideration of diverse interests, ensuring that ethical decisions benefit the broader society. Moral relativism holds that ethical standards vary based on culture and context, while moral absolutism maintains that certain actions are inherently right or wrong. These perspectives offer different implications for ethical decision-making. The Potter box model provides a structured approach to ethical decision-making by considering facts, values, principles, and loyalties. It helps professionals systematically work through complex ethical dilemmas. The PLUS ethical decision-making model offers a practical framework for evaluating decisions based on policies, legality, universal principles, and self-respect. It provides a straightforward approach to making ethical choices. Blanchard and Peel's 3 questions offer a quick ethical assessment tool by asking if a decision is legal, balanced, and how it makes one feel. This approach is useful for time-pressured decision-making. The 7-step path to ethical decisions provides a comprehensive process for making ethical choices. It involves identifying the issue, gathering facts, listing options, testing consequences, making a decision, implementing it, and reflecting on the outcome. Reamer's 7-step social work framework emphasizes thorough documentation and ongoing evaluation in ethical decision-making. It is particularly important in professional fields with significant client vulnerability. Codes of ethics and professional guidelines provide foundational references for ethical practice. They offer practical guidance and legal interfaces, ensuring that professionals adhere to evolving standards and ethical challenges. Leadership plays a crucial role in shaping ethical decisions within an organization. The tone set by leaders influences what is valued and prioritized, regardless of stated policies. Ethical infrastructure, psychological safety, moral courage, and accountability are key areas where leadership impacts ethical decision-making. Leaders establish systems and procedures that enable ethical behavior, create environments where employees feel safe raising concerns, demonstrate willingness to make difficult decisions aligned with ethical principles, and hold themselves accountable for ethical conduct. In our first case study, we explore a workplace harassment scenario. A high-performing senior manager has been reported for making inappropriate comments to junior staff. The behavior creates a hostile work environment, yet the manager generates significant revenue for the organization. Through a rights-based analysis, we consider the junior staff's rights to dignity and a safe workplace, while the justice framework analysis focuses on procedural justice and contemporary justice concerns. This case highlights the importance of addressing the harassment while considering the manager's performance. Our second case study delves into healthcare resource allocation during a crisis. A hospital must decide how to distribute limited ICU beds, directly impacting patient outcomes. The utilitarian perspective prioritizes patients with the highest survival probability, while the care ethics perspective considers relationships and vulnerabilities. This case underscores the complexity of ethical decision-making in healthcare, emphasizing the dignity of each patient and the web of care relationships involved. In professional contexts, applying relevant ethical frameworks is essential. Identifying which frameworks apply to your specific situation and perspective is crucial. Integrating multiple perspectives can enhance decision-making, as complex decisions benefit from diverse viewpoints. Consulting codes and precedents helps ensure consistency and draws on established wisdom. Engaging team decision-making fosters collaboration and broadens support for ethical decisions, improving overall analysis and outcomes. Documentation and accountability are vital in ethical decision processes. Transparency creates a clear record of why decisions were made, while consistency enables review of similar cases for future reference. Accountability establishes responsibility for decisions and outcomes, facilitating future improvement through analysis of past decisions. Legal protection is provided through due diligence and thoughtful processes. Best practices include recording key facts, noting frameworks and principles applied, and explaining the rationale for final decisions. Consulting colleagues and experts is crucial when facing novel situations, high-stakes decisions, or conflicting principles. Engaging with relevant expertise, such as ethics committees or subject matter experts, can provide valuable insights. Confidentiality must be balanced with appropriate privacy measures, and diverse perspectives should be sought to challenge assumptions and broaden understanding. Effective consultation requires humility and clarity about the ethical question at hand. Monitoring and evaluating decisions is an ongoing process that strengthens ethical decision-making. Defining success metrics, gathering feedback, comparing outcomes with anticipated results, and identifying unintended consequences are key steps. Analyzing decision processes for improvements and documenting lessons learned are essential for continuous improvement. Adjusting policies based on findings ensures that ethical decision-making doesn't end with implementation, but continues to evolve and adapt. Structured frameworks offer significant benefits in ethical decision-making. They reduce cognitive bias by seeking only relevant information and ensuring thoroughness through comprehensive checklists. These frameworks facilitate communication by creating shared language to address ethical issues, making it easier to justify decisions to stakeholders. Organizations using structured approaches experience fewer ethical lapses and greater consistency in decision-making, fostering stronger stakeholder trust. Despite their value, ethical frameworks face several implementation challenges in real-world settings. Time constraints, incomplete information, emotional factors, and conflicting frameworks can hinder ethical reasoning. Navigating ambiguity requires acknowledging limits of certainty, discussing options, and establishing new response protocols. Flexibility and adaptation are crucial in overcoming these obstacles and ensuring ethical frameworks are effectively applied. As we conclude, remember that ethical decision-making is a continuous journey throughout your career. Multiple frameworks offer complementary insights, and no single framework is sufficient alone. Structured methods improve consistency and reduce bias, enhancing the quality of decisions. Leadership responsibility is paramount, as leaders shape ethical culture through modeling, system design, and accountability mechanisms. Embrace ethical maturity by cultivating virtues like moral courage and integrity, ensuring personal commitment to principled action, even when challenged. In this module, we delve into the realm of workplace ethics and human resources practices. We'll examine how ethical principles shape HR decisions, explore common dilemmas, and provide practical frameworks for maintaining integrity in your organization. Workplace ethics serve as a code of moral standards that define what is considered good or right behavior in professional settings. These principles guide decision-making processes, shape workplace culture, and establish expectations for interpersonal interactions, forming the cornerstone of effective human resource management. Ethics in HR are crucial, with 86% of employees emphasizing its importance in building trust. Ethical companies see a 3.5x increase in engagement, and breaches can cost up to 4.2 million. Ethical practices build stronger reputations, foster loyalty, and mitigate financial risks, enhancing stakeholder confidence and brand value. HR ethics revolve around fairness and equality, confidentiality, and conflict of interest. Ensuring equal treatment, protecting sensitive information, and managing situations where personal interests might compromise professional decisions are fundamental to ethical HR practices. Values form the foundation of ethical reasoning, influencing how we interpret situations and make decisions. Recognizing diversity in ethical frameworks is crucial for HR professionals when developing inclusive policies and addressing ethical dilemmas with sensitivity. Professional HR organizations establish codes of conduct that define expected behavior and ethical standards for practitioners. These frameworks serve as valuable guides for ethical decision-making, emphasizing integrity, credibility, and professional development. HR professionals often face ethical dilemmas such as compensation inequities, discriminatory practices, nepotism, and privacy intrusions. Addressing these issues requires balancing budget constraints, eliminating bias, and respecting personal boundaries to maintain organizational integrity. Ensuring fair compensation across roles and addressing pay disparities are ethical considerations in HR. Emerging trends in pay transparency legislation push organizations toward greater equity, requiring them to report gender pay gaps and provide salary ranges in job advertisements. Organizations have ethical and legal obligations to prevent discrimination based on protected characteristics. This involves recognizing biases, developing policies, improving processes, and measuring diversity metrics to foster an inclusive environment. Recruitment processes face ethical challenges such as unconscious bias, personal connections, and misleading job descriptions. Implementing best practices like panel interviews and standardizing procedures can improve hiring success rates and ensure fairness. Maintaining confidentiality of employee data is crucial, covering health records, personal details, disciplinary information, and compensation data. Ethical HR practices require thoughtful consideration of data compliance, retention, and access rights. Conflicts of interest arise when personal interests compromise professional judgment. Ethical responses include disclosure and recusal from decision-making processes, ensuring transparency and maintaining trust in HR operations. Fair workplace policies involve clear communication, regular reviews, and meaningful consultation with employees. Industry benchmarks show that companies conducting annual policy reviews maintain relevant and fair practices across organizational levels. Leadership sets the tone for organizational ethics through modeling, messaging, decision-making, reinforcement, and resource allocation. Many organizations implement CEO-led ethics pledges, demonstrating commitment to ethical standards and inviting accountability. Creating an ethical workplace requires integrating ethics into the fabric of organizational culture. This involves articulating values, socializing ethics in team meetings, operationalizing ethical considerations, and measuring ethical indicators through assessments. Effective ethics training involves case-based learning, interactive workshops, and role-specific training. Industry standards require regular ethics refreshers for all employees, ensuring they are equipped to handle complex ethical responsibilities. Organizations provide secure channels for reporting ethical concerns, enforce non-retaliation policies, and ensure transparent investigation processes. These mechanisms encourage staff to raise issues confidently, fostering a culture of accountability and trust. Ethical organizations establish clear accountability at every level, with consequences for breaches that are proportionate and consistently applied. Elements of ethical accountability include leadership tone, graduated consequences, and consistent enforcement. HR professionals play a crucial role in monitoring compliance with regulations like the Equality Act, GDPR, and Modern Slavery Act. These laws intersect with ethical considerations, requiring organizations to align policies with legal obligations. While core ethical principles may be universal, their interpretation can vary across cultures, creating challenges for multinational organizations. HR must adapt communication channels and policies to respect cultural variations and maintain ethical standards globally. Measuring and auditing ethical performance is crucial for organizations aiming to uphold integrity and transparency. Key ethical performance indicators include employee perception of organizational ethics, reporting frequency and types of ethical concerns, and response time and resolution quality for ethical issues. Additionally, organizations should monitor ethical aspects of promotion and compensation decisions, policy compliance rates across departments, and external recognition for ethical business practices. Leading organizations are increasingly pursuing external ethics certifications, which provide independent verification of ethical business systems. Technology introduces several ethical challenges in the workplace. AI-driven recruitment may perpetuate or amplify existing biases, requiring ethical oversight to ensure fairness. Employee monitoring technology, while enhancing productivity, raises privacy concerns that must be balanced with legitimate business needs. Data privacy in HR systems is another critical area, as cloud-based platforms must ensure compliance with varying privacy standards across borders. Lastly, biometric data collection, such as fingerprint scans, poses ethical questions about bodily autonomy and data security, urging organizations to consider less invasive alternatives. Human resources plays a pivotal role in corporate social responsibility by developing and implementing practices that extend ethical commitments beyond legal compliance. Key CSR areas for HR include community engagement through volunteering programs, environmental sustainability with green practices, ethical supply chains ensuring fair trade, labor standards for fair wages, and diversity initiatives promoting equal opportunities. The B Corporation certification movement has gained significant traction, meeting rigorous standards for social and environmental performance, accountability, and transparency, often spearheading these certification efforts. Preventing and managing ethical breaches requires a proactive approach. Implementing preventive measures, such as ethics training and clear policies, fosters an environment where ethical questions are welcomed. Early detection systems help identify potential problems before they escalate. Fair investigation processes ensure protection for all parties involved, maintaining confidentiality and objectivity. Proportionate response frameworks address consequences based on severity and history, ensuring consistent application. Organizational learning uses breaches as opportunities to improve systems and policies, preventing future issues through root cause analysis. HR ethics significantly impact organizational performance, as illustrated by the comparison of high ethics companies versus average companies. Metrics such as employee retention, engagement scores, litigation risk, and innovation index reveal that organizations with strong ethical foundations tend to perform better across these areas. High ethics companies show higher employee retention and engagement, lower litigation risks, and greater innovation, underscoring the importance of ethical practices in driving organizational success. The Royal Mail age discrimination case highlights the consequences of unethical HR practices. In 2020, Royal Mail was ordered to pay a substantial sum to a 49-year-old who was denied a job due to age discrimination. The legal, reputational, and internal consequences were significant, emphasizing the need for corrective measures. These include mandatory age bias training for hiring managers, revised recruitment processes, audits of hiring demographics, and updated language guidelines for job descriptions. Such measures are essential to prevent discrimination and ensure fair treatment in the workplace. Unilever's comprehensive diversity and inclusion strategy serves as a best practice example in HR ethics. By achieving gender balance, transparent reporting, inclusive design, ethical recruitment, and cultural sensitivity, Unilever has seen improved employee engagement and better market insights. Their approach demonstrates the business benefits of ethical HR practices, showing that diversity and inclusion can lead to a more engaged and productive workforce, ultimately driving organizational success. Practical tools for ethical decision-making are essential for HR professionals facing real-world scenarios. Identifying the ethical issue clearly helps distinguish between different challenges. Considering stakeholders ensures that all parties affected by the decision are included. Testing against principles involves applying ethical frameworks to assess truthfulness and benefits. Applying transparency tests clarifies how the decision would be perceived by stakeholders. Exploring alternatives encourages finding better options before implementing decisions. Role-playing exercises can help HR professionals practice applying these tools effectively. Building your own ethical awareness is crucial for HR practitioners. Personal ethics development involves engaging in deliberate practices such as value clarification, ethical journaling, seeking diverse perspectives, and continuous learning. Resources for ethical development include CIPD Ethics at Work Toolkit, Ethical Business Resource Center, and peer learning groups. These tools help individuals challenge their assumptions, broaden their understanding, and stay current on evolving ethical standards, ultimately fostering ethical leadership within organizations. Towards a culture of integrity, organizations must prioritize fairness, transparency, and compliance. Ethics as a process involves ongoing dialogue and reflection, while balancing interests requires aligning organizational objectives with societal impact. Future Focus emphasizes creating competitive advantages through ethical practices, building trust with customers and stakeholders. By embedding ethics into organizational culture, businesses can achieve sustainable success, fostering a workplace where integrity is the norm and all stakeholders benefit. Welcome to Module 4, where we'll explore the critical intersection of ethics and business functions. This comprehensive module examines ethical considerations across marketing, financial management, and operational practices, essential components for building sustainable business success, maintaining stakeholder trust, and ensuring legal compliance. Ethical practices build meaningful trust with customers, employees, investors, and communities. This trust translates into brand loyalty, employee retention, and customer satisfaction. Ethical conduct minimizes exposure to legal penalties, financial losses, and reputational damage. Companies with strong ethical frameworks better navigate regulatory scrutiny. Ethics-driven companies position themselves for sustainable growth by building resilient relationships, attracting top talent, and adapting to evolving circumstances. The Competition and Markets Authority oversees fair competition, while the Financial Conduct Authority regulates financial markets. The Advertising Standards Authority regulates advertising claims. The General Data Protection Regulation sets data protection standards, with penalties for violations. International frameworks include ISO 37001 for anti-bribery management and IFRS for consistent accounting practices. Marketing ethics involves the moral principles guiding how organizations promote their products and services. It requires carefully balancing profit objectives with responsibility to consumers and society. Ethical marketing recognizes the significant influence promotional activities have on consumer behavior and seeks to wield this power responsibly, avoiding manipulation while fostering authentic relationships. Key marketing ethical principles include truthfulness, ensuring all claims about products or services are accurate and not misleading. Respect for privacy involves protecting consumer data and securing proper consent. Non-manipulation avoids exploiting vulnerabilities or using psychological tactics to override rational decision-making processes. Case studies highlight misleading advertising practices. L'Oreal faced scrutiny for unsubstantiated anti-aging claims, emphasizing the need for evidence-based marketing. The UK Advertising Standards Authority addressed numerous breaches, while Volkswagen's clean diesel scandal involved deceptive emissions tests, resulting in significant financial and reputational damage. Digital marketing raises concerns about data and privacy. GDPR requires explicit consent for data collection, while the Cambridge Analytica scandal exposed misuse of personal data for political targeting. Data breach penalties, like those faced by British Airways, underscore the consequences of inadequate data protection measures. Social media ethics in marketing focus on influencer transparency and platform responsibility. UK law requires clear disclosure of paid sponsorships, and the ASA enforces compliance. Platforms face pressure to moderate harmful content, with the UK Online Safety Act introducing a duty of care requirement. Inclusive and responsible campaigns are essential in marketing. Dove's campaigns promote diversity and inclusion, while the Pepsi-Kendall Jenner ad faced backlash for trivializing social justice movements. These examples highlight the importance of sensitivity and awareness in advertising. Greenwashing involves making misleading environmental claims. H&M's Conscious collection was scrutinized for potentially deceptive marketing. The UK Green Claims Code requires environmental claims to be truthful and substantiated, considering the full life cycle of products and services. Children and vulnerable consumers require special protection in advertising. Ofcom restricts junk food ads during children's programming, while gambling advertising controls limit exposure to vulnerable individuals. The UK advertising codes include specific provisions to protect these groups from undue pressure. Codes of conduct and best practices guide ethical marketing. The Chartered Institute of Marketing requires members to act with integrity, promote honesty, respect confidentiality, and consider environmental impacts. Internal ethical review boards help organizations implement dedicated review processes for marketing campaigns. Financial ethics encompasses the moral principles governing the handling of money, investments, and financial reporting. It demands unwavering commitment to transparency, fairness, and legal compliance. Financial professionals bear significant responsibility as stewards of others' resources. Financial integrity and trust are crucial for investor confidence, market stability, and reputational value. Ethical financial practices build the confidence needed for investors to commit capital. Research shows that ethical lapses can reduce market capitalization by up to 30%, with recovery taking 5 to 7 years. Common financial ethics issues include financial misrepresentation, bribery, corruption, market manipulation, and insider trading. These unethical practices undermine market integrity and can lead to significant financial and reputational damage. Major financial scandals like Wirecard and Wells Fargo highlight the consequences of unethical practices. Wirecard's fraudulent activities led to billions in missing money, while Wells Fargo's fake accounts scandal resulted in fines and settlements for systemic fraud. Avoiding financial misconduct involves full disclosure, transparent modeling, and whistleblowing channels. Financial models should use reasonable assumptions, and organizations must create supportive environments for ethical concerns to be reported safely. Financial management standards ensure consistency and transparency in reporting. UK companies must undergo annual external audits, with executive accountability for known violations. These standards help maintain trust and integrity in financial practices. Regulatory compliance and ethics training are essential for maintaining ethical business practices. New employees receive comprehensive training, with ongoing education and specialized training for staff handling sensitive information. Leadership development emphasizes creating ethical cultures and supporting staff who raise concerns. Investment ethics are guided by ESG criteria, which focus on environmental, social, and governance factors. These criteria help investors evaluate the ethical impact of their investments. The growth of ethical investing is evident, with UK sustainable investment assets reaching $40 billion in 2020. The UK Stewardship Code further emphasizes the importance of responsible ownership and governance. The LIBOR scandal in 2012 was a significant ethical failure for Barclays, leading to a comprehensive reform initiative. The bank implemented an ethics committee and new whistleblowing systems to address these issues. By 2023, Barclays had significantly improved its reputation, demonstrating that recovery from ethical failures is possible with a commitment to cultural change. Ethics in operations involve the moral and legal responsibilities in daily business activities. These operations create value by respecting human rights and protecting the environment, forming the backbone of sustainable business practices. Responsible sourcing and supply chains are crucial for ethical business practices. The Modern Slavery Act requires transparency in supply chains, while companies like Apple and Marks & Spencer highlight the importance of ethical sourcing and supplier assessment programs. Health, safety, and employee rights are critical components of ethical business practices. The UK Corporate Manslaughter Act and responses to COVID-19 highlight the importance of prioritizing worker safety. The Rana Plaza aftermath underscores the need for transparency in supply chains. Environmental operations ethics focus on sustainable manufacturing practices. Unilever's Zero Waste Initiative and the ISO 14001 standard demonstrate the importance of reducing waste and maintaining environmental management systems. Technology and AI in operations present challenges and opportunities for ethical practices. Addressing algorithm bias, ensuring decision transparency, and balancing retail technology are crucial for ethical AI implementation. Corporate culture and internal controls are vital for fostering an ethical workplace. Open reporting cultures and operational codes of conduct provide guidance for ethical decision-making and encourage employees to report concerns safely. Building an ethical organization requires leadership, diverse perspectives, decision frameworks, process improvement, and recognition systems. These elements help create a culture of ethics and continuous improvement. Embedding ethics across business involves shared values, leadership commitment, operational systems, training, and continuous improvement. This foundation supports sustainable success and resilience in navigating complex challenges. Welcome to Module 5, where we delve into how businesses are going beyond profits to create positive social and environmental impacts. This module will explore the theory, real-world examples, and the business benefits of implementing effective corporate social responsibility strategies. Corporate social responsibility is a company's commitment to self-regulate its actions for the benefit of society. It balances profitability with responsibility towards society and the environment, ensuring benefits for all stakeholders. The pillars of CSR include environmental impact, ethical responsibility, financial accountability, and philanthropic endeavors. These elements work together to support long-term growth and ethical business practices. The evolution of CSR shows a shift from basic legal compliance to strategic integration in business. From the 1950s to the present, CSR has become a core business strategy with measurable impacts. CSR strengthens the business case by enhancing brand value, improving customer loyalty, and reducing operational costs. It aligns with stakeholder expectations for corporate accountability and responsibility. Companies embrace CSR to enhance reputation, meet regulatory demands, and inspire employees. A strong CSR record builds trust and attracts talent, providing a competitive edge. CSR shapes organizational culture by embedding ethical values, promoting inclusion, and reducing environmental harm. It influences workplace policies and decision-making processes. Strategic planning in CSR involves aligning social goals with business objectives. It includes setting measurable targets, resource allocation, and evaluating social impact alongside financial performance. CSR initiatives range from basic philanthropy to strategic transformation. Each level represents a commitment to integrating CSR into business strategy, with varying resource investments and returns. Effective corporate philanthropy goes beyond donations, focusing on strategic alignment and sustained support for nonprofit partners. It leverages employee expertise and tracks social impact outcomes. Operational CSR involves day-to-day changes like resource efficiency, sustainable procurement, and improved workplace practices. These changes create cost savings and social benefits, fostering a win-win scenario. Companies are committing to reducing their carbon footprint and adopting renewable energy. These actions are both a business necessity and an ethical imperative in addressing climate change. Social CSR focuses on community engagement and stakeholder consultation. These initiatives build trust and help companies understand the contexts in which they operate, strengthening relationships. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are central to ethical business practices. Companies that prioritize DEI see increased profitability and demonstrate the business value of ethical practices. Ethical conduct and compliance involve comprehensive codes of ethics, transparent reporting, anti-corruption measures, and fair trade practices. These ensure ethical operations and stakeholder confidence. Integrating sustainability into CSR involves long-term resource stewardship and aligning with UN Sustainable Development Goals. This approach ensures strategic alignment and measurable impact. Responsible supply chains involve supplier assessment, ethical sourcing, and monitoring standards. These practices ensure compliance and ethical operations throughout the supply chain. CSR in marketing focuses on credible communication and avoiding greenwashing. It influences consumer choices by aligning messaging with ethical practices and transparency. CSR and public policy involve partnerships and advocacy to address social challenges. Ethical approaches influence policy, ensuring business practices align with societal needs. The risks of CSR as PR include perceptions of self-serving motives and CSR washing. These can lead to consumer backlash and reputational damage if not aligned with genuine business practices. Corporate social responsibility, CSR outcomes, can be measured through a variety of metrics. Environmental metrics include greenhouse gas emissions, water consumption, and biodiversity impact assessments. Social metrics focus on diversity, employee well-being, and community engagement. Governance metrics emphasize board diversity, executive compensation ratios, and transparency in tax operations. These metrics provide a standardized framework for evaluating performance and holding companies accountable. CSR standards and certifications are crucial for ensuring rigorous assessment of a company's social and environmental performance. B Corp certification requires a minimum score across governance, workers, community, environment, and customers. Other key standards include the Global Reporting Initiative, ISO 26000, and SDG impact standards, which align with UN goals. These certifications help companies demonstrate their commitment to sustainability. Global trends in CSR are being shaped by growing legislative pressure and the rise of purpose-driven companies. Regulatory frameworks are shifting towards mandatory reporting, with laws like the UK Modern Slavery Act and the EU Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. Companies are integrating social missions into their core operations, with impact investing and employee ownership structures gaining popularity. These trends highlight the increasing importance of CSR in business strategy. Unilever's Sustainable Living Plan is a prime example of CSR in action. From 2010 to 2020, Unilever achieved significant milestones, such as sourcing over 60% of agricultural raw materials sustainably and reducing CO2 emissions by 50%. Their sustainable brands grew 69% faster than the rest of the business, showcasing the commercial value of purpose-driven initiatives. This case study demonstrates the potential of CSR to drive both environmental and business success. Marks & Spencer's Plan A is a comprehensive sustainability initiative launched in 2007. With a $200 million commitment, it aimed to make M&S the world's most sustainable retailer. The plan has saved $750 million through efficiencies and achieved zero waste to landfill since 2012. This initiative highlights how sustainability can generate both cost savings and brand value, setting a benchmark for other companies to follow. A local brewery in London demonstrates how small businesses can implement impactful CSR initiatives. By investing in water recycling technology, they reduced water usage by 40% and achieved cost savings. Partnering with a local river conservation charity further enhanced their environmental responsibility. This case study illustrates that even with limited resources, SMEs can make significant contributions to sustainability through local partnerships and innovative solutions. The future of CSR and sustainability is marked by regulatory tightening and a digital transparency revolution. From 2023 to 2025, mandatory ESG reporting will expand globally, while blockchain and IoT will enhance supply chain tracking. Between 2025 and 2028, stakeholder capitalism will become mainstream, with companies facing pressure to generate purpose beyond profit. These trends indicate a shift from CSR as a distinct function to a fundamental business principle. Integrating CSR into corporate strategy involves aligning it with the company's strategic vision and governance. This requires cross-functional implementation, system alignment, and stakeholder engagement. By embedding CSR into the core of business operations, companies can ensure consistent decision-making and performance metrics. This transition from isolated projects to integrated sustainability is essential for creating shared value for business and society. To implement effective CSR, companies should link initiatives to their core business purpose and engage stakeholders throughout the process. Measuring impact, not just activity, is crucial for understanding the benefits and potential consequences of initiatives. Authenticity through consistency ensures alignment between public commitments and internal practices. These recommendations help companies maximize the value and effectiveness of their CSR efforts. CSR has evolved from a peripheral activity to a strategic business imperative. It creates measurable value for both business and society, with transparency and accountability as non-negotiable requirements. To drive sustainable success, companies should implement effective CSR plans, conduct materiality assessments, and benchmark against industry leaders. Developing a strategic CSR plan with clear targets and building capabilities through training are essential next steps for achieving long-term sustainability. Welcome to Module 6, where we delve into the realm of ethical leadership and its pivotal role in shaping successful organizations. This module will guide you through practical frameworks that foster cultures where ethics thrive, transcending mere compliance. Ethical leadership is a transformative approach rooted in moral principles and values. Unlike conventional leadership, it harmonizes performance with principled decision-making, impacting all stakeholders, including employees, customers, and the environment. Ethical leadership is not just a concept. It is a practice that guides everyday actions and organizational culture. Ethical leadership is crucial as it builds trust and loyalty, reduces organizational risks, and enhances long-term performance. When leaders demonstrate ethical behavior, they create a secure and engaged environment, minimizing compliance violations and fostering employee retention and customer loyalty. The historical context of ethical leadership reveals its evolution from authority-based models to values-driven approaches. Recent decades have witnessed high-profile corporate ethics failures, underscoring the need for leadership models that prioritize ethical behavior over peripheral considerations. Ethical leadership is anchored in 5 core principles: honesty, respect, justice, community, and integrity. These principles serve as a moral compass for navigating complex ethical terrains, providing leaders with practical benchmarks to evaluate their decisions and actions. Honesty is the foundation of ethical leadership, manifesting through transparent actions and communications. Ethical leaders share information openly, even when uncomfortable, fostering a culture of trust and accountability throughout the organization. Respect and empathy are vital components of ethical leadership. Ethical leaders communicate thoughtfully, value diversity, and foster inclusion, creating environments where all voices are heard and valued, turning differences into strengths. Justice in ethical leadership involves treating all organizational members equitably, ensuring rewards and punishments are distributed based on legitimate criteria. Ethical leaders reject favoritism, creating environments where decisions are made without bias. Ethical leaders prioritize both individual and collective value, ensuring organizational decisions consider the well-being of the entire community. This principle requires leaders to weigh the consequences for all stakeholders, fostering a sense of community and collective good. Integrity in ethical leadership means doing what's right, taking responsibility, and striving for continual improvement. Leaders with integrity integrate ethical principles into their identity, reflecting on their decisions and consistently aligning their actions with core values. Senior leaders play a crucial role in establishing the ethical tone of an organization. Their actions and implicit behaviors influence the entire organization, demonstrating that ethical leadership must be embodied at the highest levels to be effective. Defining organizational values involves clear articulation, practical definitions, inclusive development, and regular review. Values must resonate with all staff members, ensuring they reflect the whole organization and are periodically reviewed for relevance. Effective ethical communication goes beyond publishing values. It involves integrating ethics into everyday conversations and decisions. Leaders should seize opportunities to reinforce ethical behavior, ensuring that ethics are a living part of the organizational culture. Implementing ethics training involves orientation for new members, regular refreshers, leadership-specific training, and just-in-time resources. These programs ensure all staff understand and can apply ethical principles in their roles, fostering a culture of ethical decision-making. Accountability and transparency are essential in ethical organizations. Systems for reporting concerns, anonymous feedback, and transparent decision-making processes ensure that ethical standards are upheld and that employees feel empowered to speak up. Evaluating ethical leadership involves 360-degree feedback, ethics audits, and self-assessments. These tools help leaders identify areas of strength and opportunities for improvement, ensuring that ethical practices are continually refined and aligned with organizational goals. Ethical leadership faces obstacles such as performance pressure, competing priorities, cultural challenges, and industry-specific issues. These challenges require leaders to navigate complex ethical landscapes, balancing short-term targets with long-term ethical considerations. Ethical decision-making models include stakeholder, utilitarian, and rights-based approaches. These models guide leaders in evaluating decisions based on the impact on all parties, seeking the greatest good, and respecting fundamental human rights, ensuring ethical considerations are central to decision-making. Building an ethical culture involves setting the tone at the top, defining and communicating values, implementing training, providing accountability mechanisms, and recognizing ethical behavior. These steps create a framework for fostering an environment where ethics are integral to organizational success. Leadership commitment to ethics must be visible and authentic, demonstrating that ethical considerations are central to organizational identity. Leaders set the tone through personal conduct, decision-making, and communications that emphasize ethics as core to success. To truly embed values within your organization, it's crucial to make them actionable. This means defining values clearly, moving beyond generic terms to specify what each value means in practice. Providing examples is essential, as it helps illustrate how values manifest in everyday situations and decisions that employees commonly face. Finally, integrating these values into systems, such as operational policies and performance evaluations, ensures they are consistently upheld. Effective ethics training is more than just legal compliance. It addresses real-life ethical dilemmas in contextually relevant ways. This includes scenario-based exercises that reflect actual workplace situations, discussions of ethical gray areas, and industry-specific case studies. Training should be tailored to different organizational roles, with heightened ethical responsibilities and impacts on behavior or organizational culture. Creating mechanisms for reporting and accountability is vital for a transparent and ethical workplace. Multiple reporting channels should be provided to accommodate different comfort levels, including anonymous hotlines and open-door policies. Whistleblower protection is crucial, with robust protocols against retaliation and confidentiality safeguards. A clear investigation process must be developed to ensure fair and consistent handling of reported concerns. Recognizing ethical behavior is key to reinforcing its value within the organization. Formal recognition through awards and honors, performance reviews, and public acknowledgments can serve as visible models for others to emulate. Storytelling, by sharing examples of ethical leadership and using real organizational examples, helps leaders reinforce positive ethical examples in communications. Measuring the ethical culture of an organization involves various methods, such as employee surveys, focus groups, and tracking culture indicators. Regular, anonymous assessments help gauge perceptions of organizational ethics, while facilitated discussions provide qualitative insights. Tracking metrics like ethics hotline usage and resolution rates offer a quantitative measure of the ethical climate. This case study highlights the transformation of a toxic culture within a financial services firm. Following regulatory fines and public scandal, the firm adopted a comprehensive ethics strategy. The approach included targeted ethics training, enhanced reporting systems, and consistent ethical communication. After 18 months, the results showed significant improvements in customer complaints, employee turnover, and ethical hotline usage. Building ethics within an organization can be challenging, and there are common pitfalls to avoid. Box-ticking compliance treats ethics as a mere exercise rather than a cultural initiative, failing to address underlying behaviors. Overcomplicated policies can be counterproductive, as employees may find them less engaging. Leadership misalignment sends mixed signals, undermining the entire ethics program. Leaders have access to various tools and resources to foster an ethical culture. Sample ethics resources include model codes of ethics, decision-making frameworks, and ethics training materials. External resources, such as ethics and compliance institutes, offer additional support. An effective ethics training checklist can guide leaders in creating engaging and relevant training sessions. Ethical leadership is a daily practice that requires consistent attention and commitment from leaders at all levels. It's not a one-time initiative, but an ongoing journey that demands adaptation to evolving challenges. Real-world application of ethical principles is crucial, starting by applying one framework to a current ethical dilemma in your context.